Hey, it's Matt from Walden Glove, and I'm here today to talk about how to choose a glove. I get a lot of questions from parents, from players, about how to pick a glove, how to pick the right one for the right age level and right level of play. So I wanted to run you through a couple different options, starting around the 6-7-year-old age range, all the way up to high school and college players. So let's get into it. So every glove manufacturer has sort of a little bit of a different size range when it comes to their youth glove lines. But generally speaking, starting at around 6 years old, we want to be in the 10.5 to 10.75 range. But to me, size isn't necessarily the most important factor when choosing a glove. I like to look at the wrist first. So this is a Mizuno. I think it's called a Prospect Select. It's a couple years old. They have newer lines now that are really, really good. This is a glove that my 7-year-old uses. And you can see the wrist is nice and tight. It has a nice little cut here so that the heel flexes more easily. And it's got a nice shape, nice pattern. Has a nice deep pocket. You know, with kids at that age, they're playing every position. So I think it's important for them to have a glove that can work for every position, whether they're playing middle infield, first base, outfield at the little league and pony level. We have another one here. It's from SSK, similar in size. I think it's a 10.75 as well. And we can see a lot of these youth gloves, they have extra features here to make this side, the pinky side, flex more easily. So that's really important. And I think the first thing you want to do is to have your son, your daughter, try on the glove and just see how deep does their hand go in. If it's going in super deep, that's too big of a glove. And you need to be careful too to see how's the glove adjusted. You know, a lot of these gloves come from the factory with the wrist adjustment out at the largest size or next to largest size. So if there's room to bring it in, you know, you can kind of fold in the wrist at the store and have your player put their hand in, and then they can get a better idea. I think all gloves, even at the youth level, should be worn somewhat off the hand. You know, a lot of youth players feel like they get their hand in deeper, they're getting more protection. But they're losing a lot of control, and they're losing the ability to really manipulate the glove. So off the hand's definitely going to be better. And so these are some good options for, say, like your 6 and 7-year-olds. And once they get to be, you know, in the 8 to 10-year-old range, they're going to be looking at a little bit bigger sizing and a little bit more professional glove. And I'll show those next. So we're back. These are for our 8 to 10-year-olds. I'd say AA for Little League. And this is a Rawlings, it's a Mark of the Pro. These are really nice because they use the outside leather, all the shell leather, palm leather is Heart of the Hide leather, but the internals are from their R9 series. So in addition to this Mark of the Pro series, the R9 series is another really good choice. This glove has lasted for 3 seasons. My son started using it when he was 7. He used it for his 7s, 8s, and 9s season. And you can see it's broken in really well. It got nice and wide. He's able to manipulate both sides. So you know, you kind of have a choice. There's gloves as cheap as $20, $30. There's gloves in the $100 range. There's gloves in the $200 range. You know, anything above $60, $80 should last 2 to 3 seasons. And when you start getting into the 100 plus gloves, they can last quite a bit of time. So like once this glove gets retired, my younger son can go ahead and use it because it's still in good shape. So it's something to think about. I really like these Rawlings, the pattern, the way that they ran the lacing up this palm side, and you know, they stayed away from the heel pad here, really helps them to flex the glove. So this is a really flexible glove. But it also has good leather, it's really loud, so we really like this one. Another good option I like a lot is from Yabai, Japan. This is marked at 10.75, but it's closer to a US 11 glove. If you're interested in getting one, you can hit them up on Instagram. They ship to the United States. These are really, really good for the price. I think these are around 150 to 160 US dollars. So don't quote me on that. You need to check with Yabai because prices of leather are going up, but this is another really good option and something that'll last for multiple seasons. A glove like this is really going to last you quite a long time and something that you want to invest in if you want your player to have the best option on the field. Back with our 10 and 11-year-old player, even 10 to 12, our AAA and majors and Little League players. I've got two options from Marucci, two different price points. This one is their Ascension series. It's made out of cowhide, so it's a little bit softer, but it's still made with premium construction. The pattern's very similar to maybe a Wilson 1786 or some of the really premier infield gloves. This is an 11.25. What I like about this glove is the shape. The pattern's a really good pattern. They've thinned the heel pad, so it's easy to use. It's, of course, a lighter colored leather. Camel leather is always going to be softer. It's going to be easier to break in, and it's going to form to your hand. One thing I'd like to kind of show everyone is, notice my hand, I can't even get my hand in here. That's a good thing. Don't wear your kids' gloves. You're stretching them out, their hands are smaller. I mean, I don't like anybody wearing my gloves, but don't put your hands in your kids' gloves. Let them use it. Try to get your hands in as best you can to help them with the break-in. If you need to do the break-in for your son or daughter, open the wrist up. Take the laces out, open the wrist up, and then you can get your hand in and you can break it in for them. But once it's tight, keep it tight so it fits their hand well and they're really wearing the glove the right way. Another option from Marucci is their Capital series. This is an expensive glove. This is more for your majors player moving on to high school. This is a really cool colorway. I wanted to show it just because it's got the classic Jordan colorway. An option for your young ballers out there and for your parents that want to, hook up a kid with an awesome glove for Christmas. So we wanted to show that. This is an 11.5. So once you get to this level glove, it could be, at the 12-year-old year. I see a lot of the travel teams, a lot of the kids already using this level of glove, 12s, 13s. This glove, if you take care of it the right way, can last you all the way through high school. And if you do a really good job, all the way to college. And there's a lot of stories of players, where they got their first pro level glove using it all the way through, a lot of their baseball career. So something to think about. And it really just comes down to what you want to spend and when you want to spend it. But I definitely recommend looking at the better gloves out there, the better lines out there, and picking a pattern that's known to be a pattern that works really well for where your player plays. So we've been talking about gloves, different ages, different sizes, and I use the word pattern quite a bit. So I wanted to talk about what is a pattern and how that differentiates each glove. So we talk sizes. Sizes and patterns are somewhat independent. So I'll use as an example this Mizuno 10.75. This typically you would think would be a really infield specific pattern for that size. But we can see it's gotten nice and wide and it's got a really deep pocket on it. So this is more of a utility pattern. Because it's so deep, it means that I can receive balls at first base and not have a problem handling them. I can play in the outfield. I can also play middle infield. So when we talk about utility, we want a pattern that can do it all. This Marucci Ascension, even though it's based off of a middle infield pattern, this has a deeper pocket. And because of the flexible leather, you're going to be able to shape this to be able to play anywhere. So this is an 11.25 inch glove, but you can really use it anywhere on the field for that, let's say, 10-year-old level. And it's a really good glove for that. Same thing with the Rawlings. So it looks like an infield glove. It's an 11-inch glove, but it's gotten deep, it's gotten wide, it's gotten big. It doesn't have a flat pocket anymore. So that's something to think about. When we move over to this level of glove, now we have really position and player specific patterns. So it's an 11.5-inch glove, but this pocket is very shallow. We can see here it's very flat. We have a flat heel. This glove is made for middle infield and it's very position specific. So when we get to that 12-year-old, 13-year-old level, we really want to be looking at the size that they like, but also the position that they play and picking a pattern that's going to help for that position. This is an outfield glove. This is a 12.75. This you would only use in the outfield. It's got a big deep pocket. I use this for slow pitch softball. It's a great glove for that. You can see how wide it is, and it's more vertical. You can see how deep the pocket is. So that's really something to think about, and try your gloves on. Talk to your local coaches, talk to your local pro shops. Another really good option is used gloves. You know, we have a lot of players that came through our local leagues, and there's a lot of used equipment sales, and you can find really good gloves in those equipment sales. So this is a Wilson, it's an A2000, it's a 1788 pattern, it is an 11.25-inch glove. You know, something to look for when you're buying a used glove, check out the binding. As long as the binding is in good condition and there's no rips or tears in the glove can be cleaned up, serviced, relaced. You have a very close to new glove. This is a glove that we found and it wasn't in the best condition. It had pine tar all inside. It had pine tar all in the palm. We were able to clean all of it out. It's gonna get relaced and it's gonna go back to a young player. I think he's 9 years old. This fits him really well. So this is pre-Pedroia fit. This is a 1788. This is the model that the Pedroia fit gloves are based off of. It fits his hand really well. He's been using it. So it was time for a little bit of a little update, a little cleanup, but that's a really good option. So check out Instagram, look for your local glove services, look for your local glove relacing guys, local cleaning guys. They will hook you up. They can take a glove that you picked up on the cheap and make it a glove that they can use all the way through, even their first couple years of high school. So that's another really good option. I wanted to talk about the Wilson series real quick. This is a newer one. This is one that got sent in for a break-in. We didn't break it in yet. We'll show you maybe in a different video about the break-in process. But this is a really good option. This is a PF88. It's an 11.25. It comes from the factory with the wrist super tight, and they thin the heel padding so that the kids can bend the glove a lot easier. This is a pro level option for the kids. This is something that's really gonna work really well. So for your more elite level of play, your tournament play, this is a really great series. I like these a lot. Let's talk catcher's mitts. Couple good options here. I've got the Rawlings R9 series. I really like this series. It's a really good bang for buck series. The reason I like it is because the leather's stiff, but not too stiff. It's stiff enough that during your break-in you can shape it how you like it. I've got this one shaped in somewhat of a box shape. I definitely recommend once you do get it broken in, you stick 2 baseballs or 2 wiffle balls in here to help it keep its shape. But this is a really good glove, really good mitt that you can shape how you like it. If you've got someone helping you out that has experience catching, they can shape it flat, you can shape it box, it'll keep its shape, it has a good palm pad, and it's flexible enough for the kids. This is really good for like your 8, 9, and then like your 10s, maybe even 11-year-old catchers. So this is a really good option. Next option is the Yabai from Japan. This is full-on steer leather. in a pattern that fits the kids really, really well. It's a great colorway, black leather, classic tan laces. I can't say enough about the quality for the price of these gloves. Again, if you're interested in Yabai gloves, you can find them on Instagram. I'll put the link below. Send a DM, they ship to the US, and they'd love to have your business. Really good option here. All right, mound of gloves. We went through different ages, different price points, different styles of gloves. We went through patterns. So where can you check these out? You know, I recommended that you put them on the hand. Well, Dick's Sporting Goods is nationwide. They have a great glove section nationwide. That's a really good place to check out gloves. Another really good spot, we don't have them here in California, but I've seen them out in Tennessee. It's Academy Sports. Academy Sports has a really good section of gloves. They have really good staff that are trained to help you out. So I recommend those two spots. And of course, if you have a local store that's a pro shop, a local team sales spot, definitely hit those first. Support your local businesses. But if you don't have access to that, Dick's, Academy Sports, really good options. So check them all out.